Howdy y'all, it's Seth, and I am at it again, leaving a discount retailer with yet another tent. This is a two-person Coleman Go. It cost me a whopping $19.99, and if you stay tuned till the end of the video, I'll tell you how you can win this very tent. Alright, you know what? Scratch that. I'm actually going to do this in two videos. This will just be the review. Then if you want a chance to win it, you can click the link that somewhere up here. I don't know, it's supposed to show up. If it doesn't, you can also check it out in the description, the link to win this tent plus a whole lot more. All right, let's get back to the review. Okay, so we are done with Ollies, and we are in the most beautiful campground you could possibly imagine. No, seriously, you have to imagine it, because this is where I'm actually doing this tent review today. And there is some method to this madness. See, I was going to go set this up in a beautiful campground here in East Tennessee, overlooking a lake, beautiful forests, children playing, all sorts of fun stuff. However, given the weather we've had, and given the fact that I am giving this tent away, I thought it would probably be best if I actually set this up here, indoors, where it's going to stay dry and clean, so that some lucky winner is getting a two-person dome tent and not mold and dirt. Seems reasonable enough. This is currently on Amazon for $35. I picked it up for $19.99. And we are going to set this tent up right here. I will record all of that so you can make fun of the clothes I'm wearing or just stare at my butt if that's what you're into. But I'm going to set this up right there. Then we're going to take a closer look at it, the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then I'll tell you how you can win this and a lot more camping gear at the end of this video. So I have not yet put the rain fly on this. And the first things I'm noticing, two things, is that's a pretty high bathtub. Comes up maybe 5 or 6 inches. Should protect you from groundwater. I'm also noticing we have a bit of a wrinkle right there that will smooth out real quick. That's a little bit better. Now, if we had the benefit of doing this outside, we'd have stakes where I could actually really lock that into place. We are looking much better. Let's put the rain fly on. Now, I did that first because in my experience, it's always easier when you have these corner clips. Let me grab them. These little bungeed plastic corner clips. It's easier to set the rain fly in place because that'll actually, the rain fly rod, whatever you want to call that, in place because it'll actually hold it while you're setting this up. And it's nice to actually have something to hold on to so you don't slap yourself in the face with bungee cords, which happens more often than I care to discuss. And there she is. So, of course, in addition to the tent and the rain fly itself, you get a couple, I'm going to guess, really cheap aluminum tent stakes. Yep, if they want to even come out of the bag. There we go. So it does come with 4 of these. They're actually, I thought they'd be cheap aluminum tent stakes, but these are pretty solid for the price of the tent. That's not a bad tent stake. I'm used to seeing things that'll start bending in half when you pick them up. These have some They feel like metal, which is a step in the right direction. We will not be using these, of course, because it's my basement floor. So there's no need to actually start staking into my basement floor. But let's take a peek, see what the inside looks like, see what the outside looks like, see if the rainfly actually covers the entire tent. Trust me, I've seen some that don't. But so far, based on just setting this up and getting my hands on the materials, for $20, this is a steal. For the Amazon price of like $35, this is still a pretty darn good deal. Of course, it is a two-person tent, and this might be the first two-person tent I've seen that is room for like two like adults that look like this. So let's explore this a little further. So I had thought about clearing out my entire basement so you wouldn't judge me, but I don't really care. If you see anything down here that looks like fun, you let me know. We can make plans to... Oh! You want to come over and play some basketball? No, we're here for the tent, right? Yeah, we're here for the tent. So this was the Coleman Go two-person dome tent. Got it at Ollies, like I said, $19.99. If you have an Ollies near you, definitely worth checking out. The rainfly is sufficient. It covers pretty much the whole tent. I'm actually impressed with this right here. Not much of an awning, but it is enough to cover this where, unless you're getting some direct rain pouring in, you might be able to sleep with that open, the screen here on the door. But let's crawl inside, see how it is in there. Okay, I am 5'10", and I am right at the screen here in the middle of a tent. Can I go without touching it? Yeah, so I can sit up without a whole lot of space above my head. And that's okay, you don't really need to do much of anything in a tent this small. It's not bad. I'm gonna show you the quick interior sides of things too here, and you tell me what you think. Okay, so the interior is still a little wrinkly on the bottom, but that's just because I can't really stake it down and pull out the corners. We do have one mesh bag there for some storage, and of course, lots of ventilation. The screen section of this does come down quite low, maybe 18 to 20 inches above the ground. So for a tent, you've got ventilation on three sides. This did not come with any guy lines. Here's my one complaint for a $20 tent. This did not come with any guy lines on the rainfly. So this back wall here, as you can see, the rainfly just kind of hangs down. And even though you have a nice screen here for ventilation, you don't really have a whole lot of functional use for that screen. And it's kind of like that around here too. A little bit more on the top, or the left and the right, whatever you want to call this, the head and the feet. But as far as the back wall goes, I would have loved just one guy line coming off of this right here that you could pull out to kind of open this up for ventilation. If you don't know, ventilation is the number one way to keep the inside of your tent from getting moist. And we don't like a moist tent. Now, this definitely isn't going to be a light blocking tent, not a dark room. None of that high-tech stuff in there. But for $20, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's a $20 tent, so I'm going to guess, yeah, the zippers like to get stuck just a little bit. Don't ignore my basement here. Oh, look, tripods and musical instruments. You don't need to know that much about me. All right, let's close that back up. No, seriously. It's a nice little ventilation screen. Again, not really going to get much of a cross breeze here because the back wall, again, is just disappointingly tight. In fact, I'm getting a little bit of a sauna effect here where I am getting a little bit toasty. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I kind of have to show you what it looks like to have a full-size adult laying in this thing, don't I? It's only fair. Let's do that. Come with me. Yeah. We go camping together. My new camping buddy, my new friend. That's not creepy at all, is it? Nah, I don't like that. Let's not do that ever again. Okay. So, despite the fact that my face is no longer on this camera, yeah, that's probably for the best. I am 5'10". My toes are kind of touching. Not bad. Again, if I had this staked down, I would have probably an extra 4 inches in both directions. So that's not bad. But as you can see, 5'10". I'm not uncomfortable in here, and there's plenty of room. So this is actually a pretty good sized 2-person tent, all things considered, because some of these 2-person tents are like, you know, especially the backpacking ones, which this is not. Should I tell you how you can win this? It's hot in this basement. I'm gonna crawl into that tent and take a nap. Comment, like, subscribe, join. See you in a bit. I'm crawling into your tent. We are going to sleep. Why are you still here? I just need a moment. Good night.